right, the Clayton County Board of Commissioners work session is now called to order. The date is March 10th, 2026, and the time is 5:30 p.m. At this time, board members, are there any preliminary items for the next BOC meeting that you'd like to discuss tonight?
I don't have
Good. All right, seeing none, we will move on to our agenda items. And the first item on our agenda is the Stepping Up Initiative. This is from the chair, for me, the chairwoman, Dr. Alika Anderson Henry, in recommendation for Clayton County to join the Stepping Up Initiative by passing a resolution. So will you all please come forward? And y'all look beautiful tonight in your green and your suits. You all look amazing.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am Monique McDowell Rex, Georgia,
Ms. McDowell.
and I am an appointee to the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board. Proud to serve, and I'm here with some colleagues. They're now my colleagues. I have another member of the advisory board here with me, and a gentleman you've probably seen.
Mr. Jones, how are you, Mr. Chad Jones?
And we also have other supporters here in the room who provided letters of support for an initiative we're going to tell you about. We'll start by just talking about the Regional Advisory Council, which members are appointed by the Board of Commissioners. Okay, thank you. And I wanted you to hear or see a little of what we're charged with doing and what we've been doing. So we're really charged with informing the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities about local needs, recommending community improvements, and providing input regarding perspective of the local community. I'd just like to highlight for you that your Clayton County appointees have been very active. We hosted a community awareness forum in Clayton County. We lead different community awareness priority areas and serve on the executive committee of the advisory council. We also serve on the state leadership council and provide feedback from the community to connect them with DBHDD regional staff. And in about a month, we'll be hosting a developmental disabilities forum here in Clayton County. So one of the priorities that I'd like to tell you about is decriminalizing mental health or mental illness. And that's one of the priority areas that we're focusing on as a council, because based on the National Alliance on Mental Illness, about 1 in 5 adults experience mental illness each year, and more than 1 in 20 U.S. adults experience serious mental illness. Our nation, based on some reports, is at risk of individuals falling through the cracks and entering a vicious cycle with the criminal justice system. So the issue is that nationwide, individuals with mental health needs tend to stay in jail longer, and upon release, they are at a higher risk of returning to incarceration. So our goal is a cross-system collaboration to build out community-based services and supports to reduce incarceration and reincarceration, and respond effectively to people in crisis, and ultimately to prevent their contact with the justice system. And so what you see here is an example of cross-system collaborations. You'll see that it's data-driven, so the data circle is on the outside, but it takes all sorts of community stakeholders and partners to make this sort of initiative work. Police departments, emergency services, medical providers, the sheriff's office, the local legal community, mental health counselors, substance use treatment, the Behavioral Accountability Court, parole and probation, community stakeholders, and also basic needs and resources. The Stepping Up Initiative, which is what we're recommending today, is a national initiative that started in 2015 to reduce the number of individuals with mental illness and co-occurring substance use disorders in the local justice system. So Stepping Up Initiative is a partnership of some very reputable organizations, including the National Association of Counties, Council of State Governments, Local Justice Center, and American Psychiatric Association Foundation. Stepping Up initiative provides counties with resources and tools to effect comprehensive cross-system change that address the prevalence of mental illness and co-occurring substance use disorders. In Georgia, there are 14 counties that have passed Stepping Up initiative resolutions. In our DBHDD Region 3, 4 of the 6 counties are Stepping Up initiative counties. So Clayton and another county are not part of the initiative in the Region 3. This is some data that we pulled from the Stepping Up Initiative website, which shows the effectiveness of the Stepping Up initiative. And what has been reported by other counties is that they see a drop in jail population. They see an increase in number of people connected to treatment. They see a reduction in the days that people are in jail. And most importantly, what they see is that for every dollar spent diverting people with mental illness away from jail and into treatment, there are cost savings. And that's also referred to as the economics of decriminalizing mental illness. And we have someone in here tonight who chose to continue to sit in the back, but he provided me, Dr. Ajibadi provided me with the resource and the report, the academic report that provided that information. So, as a group, as a team, we knew we wanted to recommend Stepping Up initiative to the Board of Commissioners for Clayton County, and we did our homework and found out that you all would be asking a lot of questions probably about cost, about next steps, and so we put our heads together. There was an opportunity at the end of the year for us to apply for a workshop called a sequential intercept model mapping workshop. Based on the pricing that I did, that could cost upwards of $35,000. But what this SIM workshop does is it is a data-driven way to pull together our partners and our resources and figure out where the gaps in services are so that we can have an effective Stepping Up initiative. So in less than 2 weeks, we pulled together an application. We applied to the Policy Research Associates and the Gain Center. We had a requirement to provide at least 5 letters of support or the application would not be reviewed. We submitted 9 letters of support and 4 additional community partners. And so hopefully folks won't mind that I mentioned the first letter of support we received was from Chief Roberts. We received a letter of support from the sheriff, from the Behavior Accountability Court. We received 2 letters of support from Mental Health and Substance Use Services. One is sitting here, and Allison with First Class Health is in the back with Dr. Ajibadi. We received a letter from the Probation Services Director. We received a letter from the District Attorney's Office. I'm not sure if anyone's here, but they supported us.
DA Tasha Mosley is in the back.
Yes. Thank you, Madam. And we received a letter from the law firm that contracts as the state court public defender. I spoke with the public defender today, Mr. Smith, and he said that I can mention him as a supporter, even though he wasn't part of the application. He said I can mention his name. And of course, Madam Chair, who has been a supporter of DBHDD and the work we've done, we received a letter of support from you as well, and we appreciate that. What we were told is that our application was one of the highest rated and ranked applications out of a nationwide pool. And I asked them, after our call, I asked to please give me some notes. And they said that it's the readiness of our community and the support that was attached to our application. Awesome. And the readiness, we did things like talk about what Chief Roberts is doing with having co-responder units. We talked about what our Fire and Emergency Medical Services has been doing with co-responder units, about the 988 system, about the announcement about a behavioral health crisis center, and about some of the changes with the providers for mental health and substance use treatment. So all of that was impressive to them. And this is just an example of the intercept. Our workshop will be held on June 9th, and we hope that you'll all mark your calendars. But what we're going to go through is an intensive day and a half with key partners, stakeholders, looking at each intercept that someone might enter into the criminal justice system and figuring out what services we currently have and what services we could use. This tells you about the action taken by the group. We recruited community partners as discussed. We received the award for the SIM workshop from PRA and the Gain Center. We have a planning group that is meeting now with the PRA representatives in order to plan our workshop. And we have identified a community champion who is willing to be just that for us. And the reason why we mention a community champion is because in looking at other counties, they've mentioned that that was very helpful to have a community champion. And the presiding judge of the Behavioral Accountability Court has volunteered to be. Oh, and she's here. Thank you very much.
Hey, Judge.
Thank you very much. So here's our recommendation to the Board of Commissioners to please sign the resolution making Clayton County a Stepping Up Initiative County, to name the community champion. We'll have to confirm that that resolution goes to the Stepping Up organization, and that what we consider this is a call of action showing unity from our leaders, a call of action for county officials and decision makers to support this initiative, to attend the meetings, collaborate, assign department members to the planning team, help us collect the data, identify the gaps, priorities, to safely divert individuals with mental health needs away from the criminal justice system and to programs and services. This is the tough part because it talks about money. We're not asking for money today, but we were advised to recommend that you all consider budgeting for a coordinator, because as we pull all of these different pieces together, we envision that there may be a need for a coordinator. That's not guaranteed because we'll find out what stepping up looks like for Clayton County after we complete the workshop and receive the report back, but at least didn't want to step away without you knowing there may be a financial ask or commitment. So that concludes my presentation, and I would like to step aside in case. Thank you, Dr. Horton. Anyone else wanted to say?
Mr. Jones, can you also give us an update on the Behavioral Health Crisis Center as well?
Yeah, which I think will fit nicely into this. I will say, a lot of times, Madam Chair, for commissions, they always get together and say, okay, this is great, and you're eventually going to come back and ask for some money, and what's the return on investment? What are we going to get out of this? And I have the privilege of being in Stepping Up initiatives in Rockdale County. I have been for 10 years in Rockdale, Newton County, and Fulton. Been in Fulton County for 8 years with their Stepping Up initiative. This allows you to give you an idea of basically a rubber stamp on your community, on your county, to be able to say, hey, we are a Stepping Up initiative. It's kind of like getting a certification sticker on your diploma. We've kind of graduated to the next level, and it actually helps you get Bureau of Justice grants. It helps you get a lot of other congressionally directed spending type grants. So you can get a lot of things, and we've done that in the other counties. We've actually brought in other grants because we were a Stepping Up initiative. So I did want to make that point. Specifically to your question about the Behavioral Health Crisis Center, we did purchase the property. They did accept the offer. So I want to get that on record and do a round of applause on that if we can, because that was a big deal. So that will be, it will be at the, as Dietrich knows, it will be at the corner of South Lake Parkway and Mount Zion Boulevard, right across from that Costco and that Waffle House. I joke all the time that we picked that property because it's next to Waffle House. So we'll go with that. But that's 9.2 acres, been vacant for like 7.5 years, been cleared. So the soil test, everything came back fine. And they accepted the offer. So we're in the due diligence process right now. We will then hire the architects, of course, put that out to bid. And so we're ready to go. Department of Behavioral Health has given us a contract, so we're ready to go on our end. So as we promised when we first met y'all, we said we're going to bring a crisis center that has the walk-in component, the temporary observation, and the 30-bed crisis stabilization in Clayton County. So we're excited that we're moving in that direction. But this project right here will fit nicely with that because it gives all those partners that you heard that were supporting this, it gives them an option to take individuals that need that care. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I want to thank DA Tasha Mosley for coming out tonight. You could just stand and just say, and thank you for Judge. Just give her a round of applause. And also thank you for Judge Shayna Rooks Malone. I have to make sure because I always say, just stand and be recognized. Thank you all for coming out tonight to support this as well. And Dr. Horton, do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. This is all we need.
Okay, and Ms. McDowell, anything else?
That's all. I
Okay.
appreciate your time.
All right, board members, do y'all have any questions at this time? Commissioner Allen?
No questions.
All right. Any questions? Y'all good?
No, fine.
Also, did y'all need a copy of the presentation or anything like that? Did y'all want to see? Can you all provide us with a copy of that presentation too as well,
We
Ms.
have it.
McDowell?
We have it.
Okay, y'all have it. Okay, great. All right, well, thank you all for coming out tonight. And like I said, decriminalizing mental health is something that we truly need. And, like I said, everybody doesn't need to go to jail. Some people need to just make sure that they get their therapy, their medicine, and everything that they need. So again, thank you all for stepping up and bringing this to the Board of Commissioners. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you again.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Question for you. So is it the goal, since this is a work session, is it the goal of the board for us to bring this forth in the form of a resolution at the next board meeting? What's the pleasure
Is
of
the
the board?
board fine with that?
I'm going to speak with a couple of our judges and DAs on, I do have a couple of questions for them that I'll speak to them about.
Okay, I'm fine. We can bring it up and just kind of see, by the time you do the meeting and everything like that, the agenda meeting.
It's tomorrow.
You said what now?
Did they mention money?
It-
I missed that. I had a call.
Program
Money,
coordinator.
what was it?
Program coordinators.
For a
what they said
program
they would like.
coordinator.
Not right now, but
Later
in the
on.
future. County provided.
So we'll talk I will let the board members decide by the next agenda setting meeting and then
And
go
they
from
can
there.
have the,
Agenda meeting is
They'll have
tomorrow,
the
so I didn't know whether or
presentation
not
as
you
well.
want for the 17th. Agenda meeting is tomorrow, so
Okay,
that's why I was
so
asking.
just get it to us tomorrow and
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
All right?
And we'll decide from there if we make it on the 17th. If not, we got we got the meeting after that as well. All right. Next on the agenda is the Q1 MARTA presentation by our interim CEO, Mr. Jonathan Hunt. Can I say good evening, Mr. Hunt? Yeah. Nope. Good afternoon, Mr. Hunt. How are you?
I am well.
All
Good
right.
afternoon. I'd like to say good afternoon, and thank you, Chairwoman, Dr. Alika Anderson-Henry. Thank you, fellow members of the Clayton County Commission. I also want to recognize our board members from Clayton, Catherine Powers and Valencia Williamson, excuse me. And I'm going to jump right in, as I have quite a few items to report on. This is the agenda for the evening. We're going to take you through ridership, our capital expansion, engagement and jobs, as well as some key things in other news. On ridership, and if you need a copy of this, we'll be happy to distribute it to you if you haven't already received it, commissioners. Prior to streetcar closure, we saw ridership improving slightly above pre-pandemic levels. That trend is continuing. Our mobility ridership continues to show year-over-year growth, much stronger than pre-pandemic levels.
Hold on,
Bus-
Mr. Hunt. Can you
Yes,
all
Chair.
close the doors in the back, please?
Chief got them.
Chief got them. Okay.
Mobility ridership still shows robust growth year over year and has surpassed pre-pandemic levels and continues to grow. We're very optimistic around our bus ridership, that the new next-gen bus network, as well as our Better Breeze implementation, is going to see improvements in those ridership numbers. We are currently installing a Better Breeze at 23 gates. While this transition from the old to the new is underway, rail ridership numbers will be a little inconsistent. So you see the dip there. Beginning in January of this year, with regard to streetcar as well as our rail, we've began to do manual boarding counts using video as well as using staff to make sure that we get as accurate ridership number as possible. Transitioning to this approach has resulted in a large swing in those numbers because the AFC, or automatic fare collection system, in December of 2025 was inconsistent, and we had begun the transition process. It did not capture ridership loss due to fare evasion or malfunctioning gates and the like. I'm going to move now into our capital expansion program. First project I'd like to talk about is we continue to see progression around Airport Station. The second elevator has been installed and the new ride store is near completion. We recently met with General Manager Smith of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport about Airport Station and ensured him and his staff, that the elevator will be completed prior to World Cup, as well as a few platform upgrades. That total project will come in around $55 million. The next project I want to talk about that we're really, really excited about is the MARTA Rapid B Line, or the South Lake BRT. CDM Smith has provided busway concept designs and a white paper regarding BRT station recommendations for MARTA staff, as well as stakeholder review and approval. During a recent stakeholder meeting with the airport agreed to the overall concept of the busway and the airport terminal, as well as the MARTA station access connection. That produced a letter of support from General Manager Smith on behalf of MARTA for this project, as well as on behalf of the county. The Clayton County South Lake BRT project was earmarked for 60.9, rounding up $61 million of CIG funding from the House bill. That's the federal House bill. Although this is not guaranteed funding, this is a medium to high rating that we have received, and it is a very, very positive step forward in the project. We continue coordination with the county, with the chair, as well as the COO and DCOO, the cities of Riverdale, Forest Park, and Morrow regarding this project, as well as obviously the Department of Aviation with the city. The project design is scheduled to be completed by the end of January 2028, and construction to begin, or the construction solicitation to be issued very shortly thereafter in Q1 of 2028. Continuing with the Rapid B Line project, we were awarded $970,000 in FTA grant fundings in 2021 to conduct a planning study for transit-oriented developments at the 12 stations along the 15-mile corridor. Why? Well, to provide guidance with your leadership around the investment along the BRT corridor, focusing on how the BRT service can support vibrant, connected, and a resilient corridor, in addition to improved transit. Most recently, we completed a series of studies around stormwater management analysis, green infrastructure opportunities, flood mitigation, heat island mitigation for each of the station areas, improving ridership and pedestrian access to transit on State Route 85 and Tara Boulevard. We also did a station area planning exercise that assessed land use, transportation access, and economic development around each of the stations. Who we outreached to was a variety of citizen groups, and I must give a shout out to our Clayton MARTA Citizen Advisory Board, specifically because their work has been instrumental and they have been tireless in their support of this project and our efforts. The next steps in the spring and summer of this year will receive input from MARTA technical staff as well as local stakeholders and complete the TOD study draft, which will obviously be distributed to all the commissioners and our stakeholder partners. The next project I'd like to talk about is the multipurpose OMF facility. Demolition on this site is complete. The image that you see on the screen is a prospective image. So we're no longer showing you images of a large patch of dirt. Work elements, I won't go through all of them during the demolition, but one key one at the end is we have established a security fence and robust erosion control so that we're good neighbors while we go through the design phase, so we don't have a lot of runoff from the site. Final design is expected to be completed this year, with construction bid advertising at the beginning of next year. I want to keep this next project, the Justice Center Transit Hub, on the forefront of everybody's mind because the bid for construction is coming out in Q3 of this year, and the Transit Hub will be under construction in 2027. This project is estimated at roughly $25.4 million. Next on our agenda, I want to highlight a few of our community engagement activities. On this first slide, I'm going to take 10 to 15 minutes on each one of these points. I am not. I'm going to summarize. But there is a lot here. We had a plethora of engagements around the county over the last few months. It was a pleasure to be on a panel with yourself, Chair, as well as many others, and my own Deputy General Manager, Rhonda Allen, on the South Metro Development Outlook Conference. Our government affairs teams has been meeting with all of the commissioners over the last quarter to discuss project updates, legislative initiatives, as well as many other items. I know the team still needs to meet with you, Commissioner Hambrick, and we are working tirelessly to coordinate our schedules. I do want to thank you for the invitation to the HOA town hall you have, and I'm looking forward to joining you for that. On January 15th, we had a successful MPD recruitment effort at the South Clayton Recreation Center, where 60 people expressed interest in joining MARTA's police force, which we are ecstatic about. And I want to apologize, in my last briefing, I failed to highlight this item, but we did have a job fair with our Human Resources Office, as well as Elevate in College Park on August 14th. My apologies for lack of noting that one last briefing update. We do know job creation is a huge priority for each of the commissioners, and we are working with Clayton State University as well as the Clayton Chamber of Commerce to prepare Clayton residents for the new O&M facility, as well as the jobs that will come along with that. In other news, we are in session and MARTA has a variety of legislative priorities. Prior to the start of the Georgia General Assembly, we presented 2 legislative priorities to the Clayton County delegation. The meeting was held in Riverdale, and we were honored to share some time with yourself, Chair, and Commissioner Hambrick to discuss MARTA's legislative priorities as well as hearing Clayton County's legislative priorities. Our first legislative priority was passing the extension to our core penny sales tax that would allow MARTA to continue to be competitive for much needed federal funds like CNG funding and for projects like SR 54 BRT and the South Lake BRT. Our House Bill 1137, which is the core penny extension from 2057 to 2067, had a hearing in the Transportation Committee, and on February 18th, it received unanimous support and came out of the Transportation Committee with a unanimous vote of adoption. It had not made crossover day on Friday, but we are still working on the measure under the Gold Dome. The other item on our legislative agenda is our BRT lane enforcement, camera enforcement. We worked on this bill for a number of years. We are very, very excited about the bill. It had made crossover, and it's been narrowly tailored for the City of Atlanta in conjunction with the Summerhill project. However, with the success of the implementation of the Summerhill project and camera enforcement along that alignment, we'll be able to utilize the same for the South Lake and other alignments within Clayton County, freeing up officers to do more patrols versus writing tickets along our alignment for bus lane violations. We gave this a little bit of a deep dive in all of our jurisdictional briefings this first quarter, and we want to do the same here. Regarding the Rapid Transit Contract and Assistance Agreement, the RTCAA, long title which just says this is the contract between MARTA and among all our jurisdictional partners on how we're going to operate in the projects that are of the highest priority to each one of the jurisdiction. Passage of the legislation for our core penny will trigger an amendment to the RTCAA. Currently, Clayton County has 4 projects and some specific service under the contract that came up in the 14th and 15th Amendment to the RTCAA. And we're pleased to report that MARTA will have broken ground on 2 of the 4 projects, and the 3rd project, Clayton County South Lake BRT, we are pushing very hard through design so that we can get to a groundbreaking on that, as I stated before, in early 2020, to a bid in early 2028. We've also completed transit amenities at 70% ridership stops in Clayton County, at the top 70% ridership stops in Clayton County. At times, we've been requested to remove some amenities, and we have done so. Very rarely, but sporadically, we've had some requests to remove a bus shelter or some other amenity. And as we look forward to the 16th Amendment, we look forward to expanding service in Clayton County. Continuing on, this is kind of a breakdown of the sales tax and the penny. The Georgia Department of Revenue collects the revenues for that 1 cent penny. Those payments go to our bond trustee for payments for our bonding first, and then the waterfall comes into MARTA. The Department of Revenue has never and does not produce a report that identifies how much was collected by each jurisdiction. We have advocated for them to give us that breakdown, and it is our understanding that they're beginning to work on that. We are going to continually, strenuously advocate for that reporting to come directly from the Department of Revenue. However, without such a breakdown, MARTA calculates the amount for each jurisdiction by using a proxy tax, a SPLOTS, an E-SPLOTS, a water and sewer, to determine the amounts to be properly distributed between and among the jurisdictions in terms of their projects, i.e. the core penny, more MARTA, Clayton County half penny, etc. This formula has been audited over the decades and approved multiple times by multiple auditing agencies. MARTA sets 50% of the Clayton County projects prior to distributing the rest of the core penny into the 3 purple buckets you can see in the slide on the screen or in front of you. And just by analogy, if you were to buy a Coca-Cola and you were taxed 10 cents on a $1 Coca-Cola, that would be the 1%, then we bond, and then the remainder comes to MARTA in a waterfall. I'm going to move on to some of our exciting system-wide projects. All of our projects we consider system-wide, but the ones we're bringing online right now, we are only 39 days away from our next-gen bus network launch. The team is working hard internally to prepare for the launch by setting up an extremely large staff deployment for launch weekend, developing a launch day playbook, and training our bus operators, maintainers on all the new network changes. Through the month of February, we held 25 open houses throughout our jurisdictional areas to meet directly with our planners, to allow patrons and the public to meet directly with our planners who've designed this network. And yesterday, our staff started going to customers directly in rail stations, bus loops, boarding buses, riding buses, to make sure all of our customers know that their service is going to be changed or impacted in some way. We'll also be conducting pop-ups and as well as pushing out advertising and social media. The best place for customers to get information about how their bus route may change on April 18th is at www.itsmarta.com/nextgen. The next major initiative that we are bringing online is A Better Breeze. And with this, I want to remind the commissioners and everyone, there is some short-term pain for very long-term gains. You will see stations under construction, including Airport Station. At present, you go to Airport Station, you can access MARTA for free while we pull out all those fare gates and put in all the new ones. We have 23 stations under construction, and we are still encouraging riders to spend down their balance prior to May 2nd. However, customers who have circumstances that prevent them from using all of their fare or stored value on their card, we are going to provide a 6-month period between May 2nd and October 30th of this year where you can register your Breeze card, get a new Breeze card, and transfer that amount over to your new Breeze card without loss. And again, I know I've updated you all on this, but we will have physical Breeze cards, virtual Breeze cards, or you don't have to use a Breeze card at all. You can just tap your phone or credit card and access our system. I want to talk for a moment about one of the safest transit agencies in the country, and that is your MARTA transit system. We partner with neighboring communities, and we even have specific crime reduction units in Clayton County, and want to thank Clayton County as well as Georgia State Patrol and local sheriffs because they've been great partners doing specific targeted policing, whether they be MARTA-specific policing or coordinated policing, because wrongdoers don't just stay in the public right-of-way. Sometimes they run on MARTA or sometimes they run off MARTA, so that coordination has been extremely valuable. I want to talk about some of our successes. This year, overall crime as of today is down 21%. We've had 0% in homicides this year, Aggravated assaults are down with no real increase year over year. Our robberies are up 50% this year, but I want to put that in context. Last year through this time, we had 2 robberies. This year we have 3. So it is 50%, but I want to put it in context. Transparent, accurate reporting is critical. We committed to having 250 officers on our rolls by the end of 2025. I made that commitment to this commission and all of our jurisdictional partners. I am pleased to report by the end of November, we had reached that number, and today we have 278 sworn officers on our rolls, and we could not have done any of this without the ongoing partnership and support of the Clayton County Police Department. One example of which is in this image on the screen, which is the graduation on February 13th, where the 4 individuals in between myself and Chief Creer, who are far more fit and slim than either one of us, received their peace officer standards and training certification, or their post certification. Those 4 individuals are on the job right now, and it was an honor not only to be at this graduation, but to share the moment with yourself, Chair Anderson Henry, Dr. Anderson Henry, on that day. With
You have
that,
any women?
I'm sorry?
You have any women?
On this graduation, no, but we utilize several police academies, and we graduate a lot of female officers without a doubt. It was just not on this one. They weren't in this class.
Yeah. Wow.
I will check as to the next class that's incoming and whether or not we have
No,
any.
I was just wondering on the force.
Oh, yeah. On the 4, no, but there are numerous female officers at MARTA. Thank you, and I'll take any questions from.
All right. Board members, are there any questions at this time? All right, Commissioner Davis?
I do have one. Thank you for that presentation. You spoke initially about the airport station
Yes.
in the city of Atlanta. Is this using any of Clayton County's half penny for that capitalization project, for that expansion project?
The short answer is yes. So Clayton County is one, and it's split in 2. Half of it is going to put in a lockbox for high capacity transit, and we need to deliver on South Lake BRT. On the other half is in the general 1 penny grouping. So that project is being funded by that penny, and a portion of that, 1/2 of which is yours.
What
So-
about the half penny that's in the lockbox? Is that funded in any of that? project?
No, that is strictly so that's Clayton County South Lake BRT. So no.
Great, that was one. Let me see, we might have had another one here somewhere. You say what's the anticipation completion date for the transit center, Justice Center transit, I'm sorry.
I did not recognize that I should have the staff from MARTA that are here, Jennifer LaRosa and Michelle Arrington, who are with our government affairs group, and Mr. Prescott, who can join me up here. I do. June
Come on up,
20
Mr. Prescott.
Come on up, Mr. Prescott. This is Larry Prescott,
No
our
pressure.
Chief
Just-
Capital
you
Officer
good.
over our capital program.
Yeah, Larry Prescott. Yes, we are in final design. We should wrap that up this year and start construction next year. So 27, completion in 28.
Okay, great. So I think from back there, you said June 28th, roughly?
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hamper? You have a question?
There was mention of something, I think it's South Lake.
The South Lake BRT
Yes,
project.
Right. So are you all getting community input?
Yes, extensive community input. We are making no moves without getting a lot of stakeholder community engagement across the entire alignment. So it's not just one specific group.
Has that started, or?
Yes, that has started. We conducted, with respect to TOD, we've conducted bus tours along the alignment and studies. We have a specific Clayton County MARTA Rider Advisory Group that helps inform us. We have a general MARTA Rider Advisory Group, but then we also have a Clayton-specific Rider Advisory Group as well. So yes, that has started.
Speaking of that, is that the same group that I received an email this afternoon regarding our members? Different groups, okay. Okay, so the group that we received the email about then, when do they meet? And, well, because I'm puzzled here. Seem like we have quite a few members that are not attending, especially me, with one of them. But I don't know if that's accurate or how accurate that is. Do they meet here or do they meet downtown?
For the Rider Advisory Group, sometimes they'll meet at MARTA headquarters, which is in Lindbergh Station. Sometimes they'll be in the county. It depends on what's needed and what we're talking about. We do like to have as many boots on the ground in the county as
on up,
possible.
Ms. Jennifer.
This is Jennifer LaRosa
Ms.
in
LaRosa.
our Government Affairs Group.
Thank you. I'm just going to pop in a little bit. So for the CAB, the Clayton Advisory Group, that is members appointed by the board, and they meet on their time. We schedule it with them. We present different projects or the quarterly briefing with some extra info. At our next meeting, I think our next meeting is either later this month or beginning of April. We'll meet with them to bring them into some of those initiatives and help have them champion some of these efforts in the communities. But that advisory group is very driven by the Board of Commissions themselves. It's not really led by us. At MARTA, we are just sort of a conduit and a topic of conversation for that part of that group.
How often does that group meet?
I can say for sure at least quarterly, because we typically meet right after we give the quarterly briefing to you guys, and we go a little bit more into detail and then see how they can assist with any community efforts in those projects.
And they meet downtown or they meet here?
Here in Clayton, we typically meet at either a library or some other public place. If you're offering, we'd love to host it here. We're always looking for a place that would be convenient for the group.
Okay, I think that's.
Well, you all can definitely host it in the boardroom if it's available, so that way we can make sure that they're meeting and doing what they need to do. So, all right, and like I said, if you all wanna, you all can come in, speak, call in and just see if it's available. You all can start having it here, so we can make sure that they're meeting.
Oh, you can meet in the chairwoman's board.
Yeah, come on in there. No, it's too many of them, but.
Thank you for the offer, and I'm sure we'll take you on board.
Commissioner Allen, you have any questions?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. So the first one is you mentioned House Bill 1137 did not
Yes.
pass. So for those citizens that are watching, can you explain what was the need of House Bill 1137? And then I never got my question answered on what if all of the jurisdiction did not buy into that? What would happen then? So I guess my first question is, can you explain what House Bill 1137 is and why the need for it?
First, on 1137, that is a request to extend MARTA's core pending, our core funding mechanism for our entire jurisdictional area, all Clayton, DeKalb, Fulton, City of Atlanta. It is our primary funding mechanism. Right now, it is a 30-year window within which it is funded. We extend that out so that it is 40 years so that we don't drop below the 30-year window. Why we need to extend it, why it's so important, is our bonding is tied to a 30-year window. So when we drop below 30 years, we will continue to seek bonds, we will continue to seek funding for all of our projects, we will achieve that. What will occur is our rates on which we pay for those bonds, so the costs for borrowing for the projects will go up. They're not going up because of inflation, they're not going up because of change orders, it is simply a factor of the bonding and rating agency saying you have a less secure stream of funding than we are accustomed to, therefore the risk is higher, so we're going to charge you more for that money. Additionally, when we go and look at the FTA, where we go get a majority of our funding from the federal level for projects like CIG funding and the like, we are less competitive when we don't have funding at a 30-year level or longer. We are one of the top 10 largest transit agencies in the country. We do not receive any sustaining state funding. We're the only ones. As such, we constantly have to do this dance every 10 years in order to make sure that we still have a window of funding that is viewed favorably by the FTA. It will be a demarcation down on all of our grant applications, and those grant applications are things like Clayton South Lake BRT, Campbellton BRT, and I can name projects across all of our jurisdictional areas. It is critically important for us. And why do we need it right now? I don't know if you asked that.
That was
No,
gonna be
the
my
second
question,
question was, if all of the jurisdictions did not buy into the extension, I guess what will be next for MARTA?
Well, if we don't have I would say it's impossible to get unanimity when we're going through the legislative process. That's why we were so excited at the Transportation Committee when we did get unanimous support. We spent a lot of time, myself being new in the role, with variety of legislators under the dome in leadership, also meeting with each one of our jurisdictions, all of the delegations, at great pains to explain why it was needed. If we don't have unanimity, it will still pass if it gets a majority, but we need that item to be called up to have that majority.
Okay, so next question, on the list of projects, a question I get all the time is what happened to the rail? So for the record, can you please explain to the citizens of Clayton County why the rail is no longer on here as a project?
I will ask Ms. LaRosa to join me.
Okay.
But the short answer is the cost and the disruption on rail was exceedingly high, beyond the half-penny level. You can join me at any time, Jennifer. But fundamentally, it was a cost driver issue. There was also 2 or 3 bridges that were driving up the cost of the project. And finally, the railroad, which I believe is CSX, we were having issues with getting the right-of-way to lay our tracks next to theirs to even be able to build the project.
Ms. LaRosa, how much is it per mile to build a rail?
About half, 500 million
Okay.
per mile, ballpark, right now.
Okay.
And so we won't say that rail is out. What we will say is that in the 15th Amendment, which is the latest amendment of the contract between all the jurisdictions, we promise high capacity. And for us, especially in all of our jurisdictions where something was promised, it's more important for us to get the service to you and have something that's flexible and that can be transferred into something else later, where BRT is one of those examples. We can do it at a less expensive cost to you now. It could be flexible. You could put other buses, whether it's school buses, Clayton State buses, or whoever else might be coming around. And you also have your first responders and your police units that would be able to be in that lane. And so that's a higher response time to anybody that has an emergency going on in the county. So those lanes will be open to everyone in that bucket. And then that lane can be transferred into something later, or if we have the opportunity to get all the right-of-way Mr. Hunt was just talking about, and we also build the ridership and have the advancement of resources that we would love to have, we can consider that rail down the line.
Okay. And then another question I had, and actually a citizen educated me on this. In 2020, Clayton County was a part of the pilot REACH program. I saw last week that you guys rolled out the REACH program. So their question was, and this is me advocating on behalf of a citizen here, why wasn't Clayton County included on the launch when we were a part of the pilot?
So in our planning, which was a 4.5-year planning group, the REACH zones were developed to be donut hole fillers. We didn't have that many donut holes. We want to expand MARTA within Clayton County, but that's the main reason. It was part of the pilot. There are 2 MARTA REACH zones that abut Clayton County, one to the west and one just to the north. So it's very close, but they're not deep within the county, not as yet. I will say to yourself and the citizen who you're going to have to respond to, I'm sure, one, please send them to us and we'll happily have a deep dive discussion with them, with our planners and myself if need be. Also, we're not static anymore. So we're doing a 6 to 9 month period with the next gen rollout and REACH rollout. We're taking analysis, seeing where, okay, this REACH zone here really doesn't have a whole lot of ridership. Let's shift resources. There's more demand elsewhere, or there's a hole or area that's missed that we really need to plug.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's all of my questions. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And the other item is with the 16th Amendment, after the passage of the core penny, when we're going through, you can make that, we want REACH zones within Clayton County, because you'll have a chance to evaluate your project list.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But I want to say also kudos on the Breeze card and, look, also, we want to talk about not just BRT, personal rapid transit as well.
Yes.
And so we need to be looking at all other alternatives. We were able to go to Glideways and see that personal rapid transit last week, and it was just amazing. And a lot of people compare it to those autonomous cars that you see downtown, but it's a lot different and a lot more cost efficient, and as far as ridership. And so it's the same price as if you were riding the bus to the, how much is the bus now?
$250.
$250, yeah, so it's the same prices,
price.
but it's on demand, more or less, and also microtransit as well, you know, and looking at some other options. So we just need to make sure that we're keeping, you know, BRT is good, but, you know, we have some other options as well that we probably need to look at bringing to the county so we can get people, you know, to work and to eat and to play, you know, a little bit faster. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and that's why MARTA's contributing to the pilot that's happening in Clayton County at the GICC.
Yes.
And we are really excited. Shame on me for failing to blame my head and not my heart.
Oh, you're not.
That was
You're
a
fine.
wonderful
That was-
trip out to Glideways. Enjoyed it immensely.
All right. Well, thank you, board members. Are there any other questions at this time? Commissioner Amber, you have a question? Are you good? You were talking, so I just said that. All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. All right, next is one meeting training for the Board of Commissioners. And is that gonna be you, Mr. Matthew Hutchison? And team?
I'm here for more.
You're here for moral support? All right, come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Rachel Ramsey, one of the senior business system administrators for IT, and I am the administrator for our new one meeting that we just rolled out at the beginning of the year. And tonight I'm going to show you guys just some of the enhancements that this system has when it comes to the board and some of the things that you're able to do as board members. So everyone will have a user ID to able to get into the meetings, and you are able to get into the meetings prior to the meeting. So you can actually see your agenda items, make some personal notes for different items that you want to talk about. You can actually in here, and we'll kind of go through it a little bit and probably have to have another session of more one-on-one sessions. You're able to go in here and you can request to, let's say if you have a topic that you know you want to speak on, you're able to, not say sign up to speak, but just make a notification that you want to speak on a subject matter. So this is just kind of the dashboard of what you will see when you log in to the one meeting. And I have a live view of what today's meeting that I'm going to kind of shift to a little bit as I go through these slides. Not yet, but in a second. So what you see on your screen here is that you'll have kind of a double screen. On the left side would be your agenda. This is the same agenda that the public sees with all the items. And each individual item, you'll be able to look at the attachments that are included with those items. As you can see over on the right-hand side, if you click on each of your items, if there are speakers, so if we have a hearing, like the zoning hearings, and we have one of the things that the system does have is a kiosk for the public to be able to sign up for public speaking, the public comment section, and also for people who are for or against different zoning hearings. So that would be available in the front before the meeting, and they will sign up there. And so you have a tab that has the speakers. So it will have them listed in order of when they sign up. Also, like I said, you will have your attachments, where you can able to see the attachments associated with each item. And then the notes tab, those are personal notes for you. Nobody else will be able to see those notes, but you're able to jot some notes down for each of your items. With the speaker tab here, if you wanted to actually request to speak, you can actually click here and say, hey, I want to talk about this item. And this will actually show for the chairwoman to say, hey, you know, Commissioner Davis on this item. Once again, you have your attachments here. You're able to view the attachments within one meeting, but if you need to download it, you do have a download option to do that as well. And then, like I said, you could make a note, any kind of personal notes that you have. The most important part of this is that we have live voting, motions and voting. So as the clerks are going through each of the items become highlighted. So if we're talking about item 5, the item is highlighted, and you will see that on your screen as well. So what will happen is that the clerk will actually make the motion, and it's just a little button that she clicks on that item. And when she does that, from your computer or however we set you guys up, you would just click to be the mover, and if you're not fast enough, it will ask you if you want to be the second. So that would capture all of that within there, the system. And then once it is moved and second, then a screen will pop up for you guys to vote, yay, nay, or abstain. And that vote there will be captured for the clerk's records and their minutes. And it will actually have what we call a live view, which that kind of be the next rollout, which kind of be the whiteboard for the citizens that are watching. It will actually tabulate the votes right here live to say if it passed, failed, or it got tabled. I'm going to kind of switch over. Okay, so can I get the map? So right now, I kind of have myself set up as if I was a board member. So right here, as we are under item 3, I kind of did a pre-setup as to say that, hey, it had 2 speakers. So if you, it's not on my screen because I am not the chairwoman, but the chairwoman will have the list of the speakers so she can actually call out their names. Okay. And then when you do call out their names, the clerk will actually just click on that person and their timer will start. Okay. One thing with our live display is that it will show on the screen the speaker's name, and then their time clock will show.
Are the screens going to be touch screen so I can?
We're going to be working on that, yes.
Yeah. I just want to keep moving.
Absolutely. And this is just the screen. This is just a live screen of what you see right now. So this is the live view of the meeting. And once again, just kind of explain it as the clerk will make the motion. It will pop up here for her to make the motion, and on your screen, you will have the option to vote yay, nay, or abstain. Okay. So this is just kind of the baseline of what is available for everyone. Like I said, the kiosk on the sign up, if I could show you guys real quickly. And it is a simple kiosk that we will set up at the beginning of every meeting. And they will, I can't sign up no more. So there is a cutoff, so we do cut it off for people to sign up. But the clerks will actually decide if, just say if there's like 6 items on the agenda that you're gonna allow people to speak upon, that is controlled by the clerks to allow someone to sign up for that. Okay. So if someone wants to sign up for more than one thing, a public comments, and then also an item, they're able to do that with one sign up. They're able to click on the items and then put their name in and submit and then come and have a seat. Okay. Any questions about that?
Board members, are there any questions at this time?
Do you have
Mr.
another
Allen?
jurisdiction that uses this so I can see? Because I'm a visual person. So do you know of any other county or city that's currently using this software?
I do. Not right here in the metro Atlanta.
But it doesn't matter. I just want to see how it operates.
Oh,
Maybe they may
absolutely.
have like a YouTube channel or something. I can kind of see how they run their meetings.
Where, can I ask you a question? Can you do some one-on-ones with board members?
Absolutely, yes.
Because I'm definitely, we're going to need tutorials. And
Oh,
then
yes.
I know for some of our constituents too, maybe let's do some, how to sign up or whatever we need to do. It could be, but I'd like to, I'd like for you to come in, because like I said, I'd like to see or whatever, but you all can do some videos or just one-on-ones too.
Yes, I will provide one-on-one training for
Okay.
everyone. I did that, the same thing with the directors of the different departments.
Good. Yes.
To kind of help with the workflow process of it.
And we can also come out to your town hall meetings.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
work with the public and make them
Now, this
familiar with
is-
the system.
Got it. Do we have, as a board, we have to vote on this? Or is it something we just going to implement? Or is it something we have to?
All right, Mr. CO, come on up.
It's evening now, right? Yes, good evening. So, Commissioner, I think one of the things IT is ensuring that, one of the things we talk about a lot of our software packages, that we don't maximize all the functionality of the software package. And so with the one meeting, we're ensuring that you understand all the capacities in space. Clearly, if the board's desires to continue to use the process as it is, clearly that's the board's decision. But they wanted to ensure that you knew all the capabilities of one meeting so you can get a walkthrough and make the determination what the next steps would be.
Is this something we have to vote on or something we just agree amongst ourselves?
No, it'll be agreed upon.
Okay,
Nothing
that
to
was
vote
my
on.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
I do have one
Any other
question.
questions? All right. Commissioner Davis?
You spoke about the voting. Is this also an online polling for our citizens in any form or fashion?
So there is an option if citizens that are watching want to make a comment. It's not turned on, but if they want to make a comment online, they can. There's a box that it will kind of come as a speaker on that item. Within, you'll be able to see it within the system if they want to submit something online, but we don't have that turned on though.
Okay, but as far as the polling, if, let's just say
No.
you had, okay.
There's no polling, no. The polling is only for you guys.
You'll see, okay.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that presentation, Ms. Ramsey. All right, next on the agenda will be Human Resources, and that will be for our wonderful director, Ms. Pam Ambles.
Dietrich, you did say it was evening, right?
Yeah,
Good evening, Clayton County Board of Commissioners, and good evening to our Clayton County citizens. I'm Pam Ambles, your HR director. Before we get started, HR comes bearing gifts today. Mr. Shaw, on behalf of our wellness program, we have some things that we want to give out to the board. Dietrich, I have one for you and some for you and Chris. I don't think Chuck is here today, right? Chuck is not here. I see Angela back there. We have something for Angela. Thank you. As well, on behalf of our wellness program.
Thank you.
My presentation is going to be very, very brief. And I do want to acknowledge my HR team here, Mr. Shaw, Ms. Lowe, Ms. Noy, Ms. Angela. Thank you guys for your support. Human Resources is excited, did I say that enough? Excited to be selected as a grant recipient by the prestigious ACCG. Human Resources, my team and I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for your leadership and the support you have shown us. I do want to give a special thank you to Madam Chair for encouraging me to pursue this grant. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this in my career, but it will not be the last time that my team and I engage such an endeavor. I tell you, I almost fainted when it was approved. Details of the grant opportunity: it provides a summer internship from May 2026 to September 2026. The intern will work under the direction of HR Manager Carol Lowe. The intern will contribute to developing a new digital classification plan, assist with drafting a compensation philosophy, and help create an exhaustive compensation SOP manual. We are very, very thankful for this opportunity. The intern will have the opportunity to collaborate and work with various county departments. The internship will allow the intern to experience the governance, functions, and daily operation of county government. Who knows, we may instill a service, public service, and the intern may very well look at a career in county government at some point. The internship will be mutually beneficial to the intern, Clayton County, our employees, and our citizens. We definitely want that individual to come in and learn all that he or she can learn. ACCG's contributions $15 per hour, maximum 200 hours, up to a $3,000 reimbursement. $30 per intern for workers' compensation, $229.50 per intern for FICA. No contribution from the county is required. However, Human Resources is asking for a small $5 per hour contribution from the Board of Commissioners. HR is working with finance to determine the cost of this $5 per hour, which I expect will not be a big budgetary impact at all.
What will it be for? What is it for?
What is the $5
$5
per hour? To add to the 15 that ACCG is giving us. Yes, ma'am. Last words on this, the $5 per hour request does not hinder the internship from moving forward. All grant documents will be uploaded to One Meeting. I haven't uploaded them yet because it requires the proper signatures, acceptance of the grant, and approval of the $5 per hour contribution during the duration of the internship is an agenda item for the March 17th, 2026 regular business meeting. Let me go back. I apologize. All grant documents have been uploaded. You all should have that for your review. Once the documents are signed, I would have to go in and upload them to ACCG's portal. So yes, all grant documents have been uploaded. They're out there on One Meeting. Human Resources will be asking, we are asking the board, my team and I, we are asking approval of both acceptance of the grant as well as the $5 per hour contribution. And that's it.
All right. Thank you for that great presentation. Board members, are there any questions at this time? All right. Well, I just want to say thank you again to ACCG and thank you, Director Ambles, for putting in for these grants. We get a lot of opportunities to get federal grants as well as grants through ACCG, and I just want to thank you as well as Ms. Boswell, Ms. Boswell's office, Mr. GK, everyone who is putting in to get these grants so we can move Clayton forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right. At this time, board members, do you have any comments?
Actually, I have one.
Okay.
If we can put on our agenda for us to begin to go out to look at these Clayton signs that are on the expressways. Two of them, the one on 85 South, Riverdale Road, and the one on Riverdale Road on 285 are in bad shape. We could begin to put some effort towards those, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. All right, any other comments?
And can somebody check them from time to time?
And that's the other part. I put some type of maintenance plan in place for, let's just say quarterly, just drive by and check them out.
All right, Mr. Rollins, you got that? Got it? All right. Any other comments? All right, this concludes our work session agenda, and I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Well,